Good morning. Last week I was telling you about the Presidio Rocket Club. Presidio, Texas. It's out in West Texas, and it's a few hours from anywhere. It's a very poor town right on the Rio Grande River. About 4,000 people live there. Many people have never left there their entire life. But the Presidio Rocket Club is an incredible success. They have participated in the Team America Rocketry Challenge for years now, participating and competing against more than 1,000 schools across the United States, and they finished as high as 4th. Now, this is from a town where I told you last week they have to go purchase their supplies online somewhere because there is none there in the town. There's a Dollar Tree store, but that's about it. That's where they go get sponges, and they'll get cardboard and duct tape, and they put together these rockets. Once they were invited to a session, a training session actually about rocketry in Lubbock, Texas, and a number of schools came there, and when they finished shooting their rockets, well, they just threw them away. The kids went and asked if they could have them. They took them back home. And when people realized just how deprived these people were, and yet how smart and how successful they were, there were some people who stepped in to try to give them some different supplies to really help them be all that they could be. But what really made them successful was a teacher. Her name was Sheila Condito. Sheila Condito. She is what has helped make Presidio Rocket Club one of the premier rocket clubs literally in America. When she came to Presidio a number of years ago now, she was 46 years old, single, a physics teacher. She came there, and she was there because nobody else wanted to come there in the United States. They have a hard time recruiting teachers to come out and work in Presidio. That's where she decided she wanted to go. She made the comment, she said, I'm here to teach the kids. You want something, then you've got to give your heart into it. If you want something, you got to put your heart into it. And so they get up before dawn, and they come out and they work with what they have, and these kids have just become incredible. One of the kids said, what's wonderful about building rockets with Miss Sheila is that, well, there are no really instructions on how to build a rocket and how to do this. And she said, that's really like life. There are no instructions. There's not just one way. And she's teaching us how to think and figure it out. She really isn't trying to make a rocket scientist out of all these kids. She's trying to give them a future by learning to think and education and approaching their problems in a new way. But it's not all that she teaches them. You see, Sheila Condito is from the Philippines, and she came to the United States on a temporary work permit. Her real dream was to get a green card and be able to stay here in the United States and work. But year after year, she was reporting to immigration, and she had to somehow prove that she was exceptional in something and that it was worth her staying in the United States. She couldn't seem to prove to them and give them any more documentation. That's in spite of the fact that one year she was elected the best aerospace teacher in America. She won the award, Best Aerospace Teacher in America. But it didn't seem to be enough. One year she finally got a letter from the Immigration Service, and it said, "You are not authorized to remain in the United States, and you should make arrangements to depart as soon as possible." She was crushed. It was Pete Diego, who was the congressman there in Texas for this district, who heard about her story, and he had his staff start checking into it. And the good news was that when they did, immigration figured out that, well, it must have been some sort of clerical error. Instead of being told to go home, the most exceptional aerospace teacher in America, she got her green card. And when she did, she celebrated, and so did the students, and so did the parents. And they were interviewing this one young man. It couldn't have been more than 11 or 12 years old. And they are asking him, "What have you learned from Sheila Condito?" And he said, "Never give up. You can do anything if you never give up." The Apostle Paul was in a prison cell in Rome, and he said, I can do all things through Jesus Christ who strengthens me. In spite of all the challenges that came his way, Paul never gave up because of the strength that comes through his faith. If there's any lesson you and I should learn from Sheila Condito, from Paul, it is through our faith. Never give up. If there is something that you really believe in and want, then never give up. I hope you have a great day. Go out and love your neighbor. No exceptions.